This is where it all started for Switch and Click. Keychron. Well, there were things before that too, like the drop control and a bunch of Red Dragon keyboards, but this is where things really changed. For the better or worse, I'll let you decide once you hear the entire story. Today, I'll be building an Ergo keyboard completely with parts I bought from the Keychron store last month, a Keychron Q8, Gateron North Pole switches, and their cherry profile keycaps. We'll listen to it at the end. I'll also tell you the story of Switch and Click and how it got here to 2023. I don't think I've ever told anyone this. Only Jake knows, since we experienced it together. In 2020, January 4th, there were two people in a third-story apartment in Seattle with a cat, a singular cat. It was dark, lonely, the days were short and the nights were long. It was Saturday and the work week was over. They had spent their entire Saturday reading books on Forex trading. Weird, I know. Who would spend their entire Saturday reading? And reading about foreign exchange trading, not just reading for fun. It was in the evening and they had stumbled upon something called blogging. Yes, we all know what blogging is, like a journal or a diary, but online. Well, not exactly. It's actually any website where niche content lives and is written by people who are interested or are experts in the topic. And this thing called blogging was a door to something else, to freedom. Freedom of time, freedom from working for someone else. Something that their 9-to-5s didn't really give them. So basically we were desperate for something else, something that let us be free of working for others and do more working for ourselves. The 9-to-5 wasn't for us. Waking up, getting ready for work, going to work in the dark, getting home in the dark, it was the same. The short Seattle winter days were probably the toughest thing I've ever faced, and I felt the depression just settling itself in me really slowly. Every day was the same, nothing changed. At least that's how the two people thought of it. They were scared, so scared that this was what the rest of their life would look like. And that wasn't living, it was just going through the motions. Day in and day out. They looked for ways to escape. One potential escape was through a 6-month stint of learning to program, to get a new job. Let's just say that it didn't work out, and programming is the single hardest thing that I've ever done in my life, and I will not do it again. On the bright side, I finished a Harvard Comp Sci course and I now have a better appreciation and understanding of computers. Yay! Another was trading Forex, learning what pips were and watching videos, listening to podcasts, reading books on trading algorithms and psychology. And there were a bunch of other projects too, but we don't have to talk about them. No one needs to know. But blogging seemed like the next best thing. So they came up with all the different topics that they could talk about. Engineering? Nah, way too boring. Plus I don't know anything about it. Saving money? No, it's too hard to enter the finance space. Wait, one of them had just bought an expensive mechanical keyboard. The drop control. It was $200. So why not talk about keyboards, but specifically mechanical keyboards? There wasn't much information on the internet yet, at least not in 2020. All of the info was hidden in Reddit threads, forum posts, just the deep, dank internet. And this blog was going to help others discover and learn about mechanical keyboards. And that was how it all started. Just a random chance event of finding out about blogging, randomly buying a mechanical keyboard a few weeks prior, and then randomly coming up with the name Switch and Click because it sounded cool. But it also provided an opportunity to branch out in the future. Weird, huh? That's how it all started. It all seems really random looking back at it. But anyways, let me tell you how the days went after we started blogging. The very next day, January 5th, 2020, we started a website, bought the domain name, bought all the hosting, and it was like $300 for like 2 years. We also started a YouTube channel in that same name. That part was free. It didn't take too long to figure out. There are so many resources out there on starting your very own website. And once we figured out how to write posts, that's when the grind began. Every day, We got up at 5 a.m., drank some tea, we call it grind tea, and then started writing. And every day, our goal was to produce 2 blog posts and then 2 videos accompanying the blog posts. And the videos were bad. There was no editing, no scripting, no camera quality, no external mic, nothing. It was just regurgitating whatever the blog post wrote, what we wrote. It was fast, it was easy, but it was tiring. And the days got even longer, 5 a.m. to midnight with a day job sandwiched in between. But yeah, the tiredness didn't help how bad the videos were. Just a cheap DSLR in a loud apartment where all you could hear were the trucks running by and the highway hum and everything else. There was a living room set, and then there was the bedroom set because the living room was too loud. Heck, everything was just too loud. I didn't even cut out the beginning or the end of the video where I pressed record and then sat down, or got up again to press record again. I didn't cut out the parts where I stopped to look at my notes, and it's sort of embarrassing to look back on it, but I don't regret any of it. So on and on we went. We were spending our paychecks to buy budget keyboards to make more content on keyboards because that's all we could afford. We mainly did budget keyboards and popular sizes like TKLs. At least that's what was popular at the time. And despite how grueling and tiring it was, I really look back upon those days with a lot of nostalgia. There were feelings of hope, of control, and we thought if we had just put in the work, put in the time, put in the effort, that it would all work itself out in the end. Then, one day, news came out about the Keychron K6, the first 65% keyboard that was wireless, hot swappable, and available for Mac and Windows. It was Keychron. I reached out, I sent them an email asking if we could receive one of their sample K6s before the launch day. It's better to try and fail than to not try at all. We've all heard that before. Except I'm not trying to win the lottery here. So the email got routed through support and to their marketing team or whatever it was at the time. I don't think they had a marketing team yet. But part of us knew that 65% keyboards would be the next big thing. And hot swap. The writing was on the wall everywhere we looked. On Reddit, on YouTube, other websites. This is what the people want. And on a side note, this is where the entire next year actually did go. The thinking went, if we made a video on this keyboard, this is our chance to blow up. And days passed, and we still grinded out the content every day. We made guides, how-tos, compilations, comparisons, reviews, everything. Then an email came. It was at night, I remember, it was nighttime, an email came, and I was so happy. They said yes. They agreed to send us out the K6 before launch day. And I made so many videos on that keyboard, on Keychron in general. People wanted information, and I was there doing my best to provide it. This was it. We put more effort into this one, a lot more. B-roll, music, notes, some editing, you name it. We made this video in one night knowing that it needed to be published on launch day because timing matters. Over time, the video quality got better. We started editing a little bit more, learning things as we went. It was fun. It was a blast to read all the comments and watch all the views go up and up and up. We learned how to make thumbnails with Canva, trying different text fonts and colors and styles. You can look back at the page and see how it all evolved one video at a time. And it became more and more natural, just talking about keyboards. More companies started wanting us to look at their keyboards. So cool. It's awesome. And that was probably the first time when we realized that this could be a thing. The thing that would let us quit our jobs. After that, work from home happened. We finished our day job quickly, and most of the time after that was spent making content, like 90% of the time. Working from home for us really meant working on our content. 2 months later, though, in March, we knew we were going to quit our jobs, that our dreams would become a reality. Actually, the first thought, the first possibility of even quitting was a chance conversation in mid-February, leaning against the kitchen counter discussing the future. But in March, we were sure, 100% sure. We made our intentions clear to our jobs that we wouldn't be returning the following year. It was a scary time, but it was an exciting time. And June 2020, both of us quit our 9 to 5s. Done. That was it. Crazy that from January to June, it took 6 months to do it. But the question was, where would we live? It couldn't be in Seattle. We just didn't have the money. So back to Texas we went, and it was not glamorous. Nothing about it was glamorous, but it was the lifestyle we had picked for ourselves. We did an exercise one time. If you had to write down your dream day onto one piece of paper, what would you write? On that sheet of paper, there was no fancy car, no fancy house, just a couple of things. A dog, a home gym, a home, and to be able to work for ourselves. That was it. Our families were super supportive and they let us stay in their homes during that time of transition. The grind continued all the way up to the middle of 2021. It continued. Then another inflection point came along. A certain book, The YouTube Formula, got published, and it changed the entire way we thought of YouTube. Everything. March 2021. This was when growth was insane, crazy, too much for our wee little brains to handle, and it was still just us. No extra help, no editors, no employees, just 2 people taking turns editing. So every week we spent hours upon hours upon hours making video ideas, narrowing down the video ideas, planning them extensively, filming, editing, photo shoots for thumbnails, and then research, and then it repeated itself over and over and over and over again. And a couple more months of that, of grinding and making content, we got burnt out. Oh, so burnt out. I could probably tell you when it happened too. With the video, I upgraded the Razer Huntsman Mini. That was when the switch flipped. Videos just weren't fun anymore. And the burnout lasted all through 2022. Just trying to make things feel fun again. And everyone warns you about burnout, but you just don't listen. You can't imagine that the growth and the numbers and the success being a not good thing. Of course it's a good thing. Why can't it be a good thing? But then it hits you all at once, like a truck. Not a normal truck, no, a semi-truck. You wake up, you don't want to do anything, and you definitely don't want to do more work. And who cares about the growth and the numbers? Who cares when you don't want to do anything? And everything was just so overwhelming. So I got help. We got help. We got editors. We got someone to manage comments and Instagram. I just couldn't anymore. I had to protect myself, my energy, my positivity. And all through 2022, all I did was protect myself from feeling burnt out again. I didn't want to put in effort or try hard because that's what caused it in the first place. There was a lot of fear of success and of trying. And I got therapy, and I finally graduated from it in October 2022. It took some time though before I was ready to try again. Heck, I don't know if I am ready right now. But here, it's 2023. I feel ready. I think I'm ready. I feel ready to try a bit more, maybe not in the way that you might expect me to, and that's okay. Because I've learned that letting go of expectations for myself, from others, from you, whatever, just no expectations. I can just be me. And that's what this year is about, just being me, enjoying the things I enjoy doing. So thank you to all of you that have stuck around this entire time, and even if you haven't, I appreciate the support from you for the time that you were here. And I appreciate all of you. I regret nothing of it, and I never will regret it. So as we circle back to the beginning, to Keychron, this is where it ends. Goodbye. Just kidding. I'm not quitting. I'm just going at my own pace. I've got so many keyboards I'm excited for this year. I've got other hobbies outside of work and content creation now. It's just so much better this way. But anyways, the Q8 is done. And here's what it sounds like. It's really weird, let me tell you. It's super strange that these linear switches feel and sound a lot like silent switches. I had to look it up to make sure that they weren't actually silent switches. They barely make any sound, and the spring weight is way too heavy, but the ergo layout is nice and it looks really freaking awesome. So go ahead, listen to it, and I'll see you next time.